after this 6 o'clock in a special room, one has a specific questions and this, so we are available for that also. Because here today, as every Sunday, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita. This is the standard procedure here. So Bhagavad Gita is the basis of this whole movement, spoken more as 4,000 years ago by Krishna. And his identity is defined in the book, plus his teachings, which are universally applicable to everybody. So it's not a particular religion, it's not a particular sect or whatever. It is actually dealing with knowledge, which is not limited to a particular religious group or even India or particular location. It's actually applicable universally and globally. So we are definitely for the globalization, but in the name of Krishna consciousness. So as the title already indicates, Krishna consciousness, it's dealing with consciousness, not with the type of body we have, with this color of skin, or with a particular group of people. It has no material quality. That means anybody can do that, anybody can access this, provided he is ready to modify his consciousness. So today we can speak a little bit about the most subtle platform of consciousness. I guess we all understand we are conscious. Somebody steps on our foot, we go, ow. That means there is a consciousness. And sometimes it happens when we sit like this, then there is no consciousness. We can practically very easily realize how we are not this body when we sit for a long time like this. Because the Indians have no problem usually. They grow up like this. Here in the West, if you sit like this sometimes, you cross the feet, suddenly there is no feeling. It feels like this is not your foot, this is somebody else's foot. You can follow vocabulary over your own foot. That shows very clearly that we are not this body. Because this is just my foot. It's just sitting here. And when the blood circulation is disturbed, it starts to feel like it doesn't belong to me actually anymore. And that's a very important point Krishna consciousness is dealing with. Who are we really? Are we the foot or not? It's good to know. If I don't know who I am, well, probably then I could be called being crazy. That's actually somebody who really doesn't know, or he thinks he is somebody he is not. So in the Bhagavad Gita, in this very early beginning, it's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, his friend. And it was recorded on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And here, by the way, in the beginning, this is in the 2nd chapter, Krishna says, Apuryamana machala pratishtam samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnutina kamakami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter rivers like into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, our teacher. Also, also the vast ocean is always filled with water. It is always, especially during the rainy season, being filled with much more water. But the ocean remains the same, steady. It is not agitated, nor does it cross beyond the limit of its brink. That is also true of a person fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one has the material body, the demands of the body for sense gratification will continue. The devotee, however, is not disturbed by such desires because his fullness. A Krishna conscious man is not in need of anything because the Lord fulfills all his material necessities. Therefore he is like the ocean, always full in himself. Desires may come to him like the waters of the river, that flow into the ocean, but he is steady in his activities and he is not even slightly disturbed by desires for sense gratification. That is the proof of a Krishna-conscious man. One who has lost all inclination for material sense gratification, also the desires are present. Because he remains satisfied in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he can remain steady like the ocean and therefore enjoy full peace. Others, who want to fulfill desires even up to the limit of liberation, what to speak of material success, never attain peace. The fruitive workers, the salvationists, and also the yogis who are after mystic powers are all unhappy because of unfulfilled desires. But the person in Krishna consciousness is happy in the service of the Lord and he has no desires to be fulfilled. In fact, he does not even desire liberation from the so-called material bondage. The devotees of Krishna have no material desires and therefore they are in perfect peace. So a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So desire is one of the aspects of consciousness. We desire, we feel, and we think. And these three things make us actually alive. It's a symptom of somebody who is alive. He desires, he thinks, and he feels, of course. And because that body cannot do so. So that indicates the presence of the soul, the real person who is living in this body. We are that soul, we are not this body. And the body is changing, we can remember. We can see already here, all our guests are in different stages of development of their bodies. With younger bodies, older bodies, and they express themselves accordingly because of the level of the consciousness. The interesting thing is, whenever one is living in a particular body, one has the feeling it's like forever. This will never change. So therefore the babies, they think, babies forever. What is the baby existence? You eat. And you eat. And you eat. That's nice. That's baby. As soon as one grows up, the consciousness is more expanded. One starts to think, there are also other babies. And there are other living entities. Then one becomes a child, playing, communicating on that level. And then, when one grows further, one becomes, let's say, a teenager. Very dangerous time. Because one is intelligent enough to develop all kinds of schemes how to put oneself in trouble, but not intelligent enough to avoid the trouble. So therefore, there is always a guardian system, especially in a Vedic society we represent. Everybody had somebody who was taking care of him, one way or another, in various forms. Nobody was left uncared for. So therefore, people actually were very strong and very confident because everybody knew, I'm protected, somebody will take care. Today in a society which is boasting with its humanitarian achievements, people feel actually very rejected, very lonely sometimes. Loneliness is a feeling, of this privilege, especially of the big cities, ironically, because there are so many people together. But you can be wonderfully lonely, just walking like nobody, anonymously between the others. Nobody is concerned. If you want to have another taste of what it means to be together with many people and have some social interaction, you will have to go to India, because that's almost impossible to be. It's also like that. There are people living there and striving and doing their things. But still, the awareness of the existence of the other is much more intense. Why? Well, because there is another level of consciousness. Again, the same thing, consciousness, we are conscious. In a city you can live like this, you are not even conscious, there are people living around you. Everybody is just following their own schemes. And what does it mean, my own schemes? My own schemes means actually my own desires. That's the reason we are here. like anybody who came here today, had some sort of desire. Maybe not a big desire, but some curiosity, like example. So desire is that what initiates always our action. I have a desire. In the material world, the desires are basically centered around I have a desire to eat, I have a desire to sleep, I have a desire to have sex, and I have a desire to be protected while doing all these things. Sounds very basic and very primitive, but it is like that. That's basically what it comes down to. This is the necessities issuing from this body. But how comes this body about? How did we get into this body? I feel, as I described in the beginning, that very likely this body is not me. The foot can be numb, doesn't feel anything. And there are so many things happening in my body I have absolutely no idea about. Zero. You know, I don't know even what happens with my body in the next half an hour. I don't know. The body can produce all kinds of things. Suddenly the body, for example, forces us to fall asleep. It's quite embarrassing when you sit in a public place and you go, you know. I mean, it looks like somebody was drinking. No, he's just tired. I didn't plan to be tired, it's coming. I didn't plan to fall asleep, I'm falling asleep. I didn't plan to become hungry, I have to eat. I didn't plan to be thirsty, I have to drink. I didn't plan to bump into all the other people, you know. Just when the bodies come together, it's like a traffic, you know, like you enter traffic in a car, and then you will be exposed to interactions. He's blinking, he's driving less, he's driving in the opposite direction, you know. So many things can happen. How did we get into that situation? What are we doing here, actually? You know, and I don't want to go now in detail to analyze what this body is made from. If you would take the ingredients this body is made from and put them in a plastic sack, you would be not exactly pleased. If I would bring now a plastic sack with all the ingredients which are in this body, it would be terrible. But because it's shaped, and because ultimately there is a consciousness, suddenly we are relating to each other as persons. Because the personality comes from the expression of that individual consciousness. So desire is a very essential part because that motivates our action. And as we act, we get a reaction. Action, reaction, action, reaction. So once we start this commotion, this action, then there will be a reaction. And then, according to the reaction, we have to respond. There will be another action, and that will provoke another reaction. And in this way, we are suddenly struggling. Because we are in a certain field where we have to behave in a particular way. Like example, if I would make now like this, you would say, what is he doing? He's completely crazy. Because I'm not in water. But when I will be in water, it's logical to do like that. So that element we are, submerged in, that will provoke a certain action. There's action, reaction, action all the time. And this is because our desire, and the main desire which is defined in all the Vedic scriptures, why we are here, and why we got ourselves into this situation, is desire to enjoy and dominate this nature. I want to be master of this. I want to have my own me, I am this body, and this is going to be mine. This is called love declaration. You'll be mine forever, really. Where is this happening? How can we own somebody? Probably not. That's not possible. So there is no such a thing like ownership in this material world. You can say, but I have the deed of my house. It's in the office, it's deposited, it's stated here, this house belongs to me. We have just like here the neighboring house which went just from renovation. How many owners were already in that house since it was built? And now it's a new owner coming. The ownership is changing all the time. So what do we really own? What can we really consider to be ours? It is this desire. The desire, I want to have it, I want to enjoy it, And somehow it's not happening. And therefore frustration comes. Therefore it's described here in a purport, nobody is happy in this world. Cannot be happy. Because he invested his desire in the wrong place. We want something forever. We want something to last. Nothing lasts. Everything is temporary. As everything will be taken away. There is some wonderful thing called time. Time is all the time. Now, since I sit down here, it's already 15 minutes gone. I will never be able to bring this 15 minutes back. There is no such a thing like a time machine where I can go back. That's only in the movies. But you know, I can go back and fix things, and then I go in the future, and I can go back and forth like this. No. The time is, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the time. And I came to destroy them all. It will be all taken away. Whatever we do, even this room, you know, if we would just sit here for the next 1,000 years, we would find ourselves maybe in a forest. We will find ourselves, you know, maybe in the middle of something else. This room will go. It's all disappearing very quickly. They calculated how many years does it take when the humans leave and don't maintain New York, how many years it takes that the city is practically finished, vanished, taken over by vegetation, destroyed. Solid concrete houses. I think it was 120 years, 100 years, finished. There will be not even a piece of concrete almost left. They will find something there, some rubble. That was New York. But now it looks like so solid. Everything looks so solid and so real. It's not real. So what is real and what is not real? This is the issue raised for anybody who is interested in spiritual life. What will stay and what will go? So Krishna consciousness means to be conscious about the temporality of things around us and not put our desires in a place they can never be fulfilled. Desires are sometimes real. We want the famous word love. Sure, we want that. What is it? In the material world, good luck. Love, love, I love you. Well, first of all, who is me? I don't know. I just feel I love you. You know, really, how quickly then that change? How can you love somebody you don't know what it is? It's like being blindfolded and going, I love you. I feel you. Do you feel me? You know, you can say, you have such a wonderful hair. And you have such a wonderful shape of the body. And then you open the eyes and there's a dog standing there. Why not? Why not? There are really dogs with beautiful hair. This, you know, why not? It can happen anytime. So if we don't know who we are, the whole game is lost. Then we get surprised. Oh no! What a beautiful boy! But he's an idiot! A complete idiot! What a beautiful girl! But she is so stupid! These realizations come. How come? Because we don't know. And therefore we end up always being embarrassed. So actually Krishna consciousness means to stop being embarrassed. You know, why should I just wait for the next unknown surprise? Oh, how could this happen? They even say, oh God, how could this happen? Don't mention God. Why? You don't need to mention God because He knows why it's happening. And you could know too, if you would know how He works. Now we cannot know entirely how God works, but Krishna is giving Himself information about Bhagavad Gita. That's how it works. So desire is there. We cannot stop desire. Out of question. There are even in India you find yogis, when you find yoga schools of philosophies, so-called philosophies being developed, which will tell you that the first goal of meditation and yoga is to extinct desire. No more desire. Because there is so much trouble coming out of this desire. You know, that's quite intelligent observation. I desire something which is maybe very harmful for me. I desire to smoke and I die. I desire to drink and I die too. You know, and I desire to have sex and then I have to pay all the bills, you know, and everything. Oh, you know, what a trouble. It sounded so good, isn't it? I love you. sex. And then comes, who is going to pay for the baby? And who is going to really go and get a job? I didn't want to get a job, I just love you. Now get a job. Oh, what an end of the whole romance. So this is all based on desire. So there are some who know intelligently, so better you don't desire anything. Nothing. And that you have to desire very strongly. Hey, wait a minute. It's just another desire. I desire that I don't desire. Where's the logic? Of course it doesn't work. So we have no problem with this in Krishna consciousness because we know that we will desire. Of course, as a matter of fact, we want to desire more. The question is, what? So any desire projected into this body will be frustrated because this body is getting old and dying. So, therefore, the whole process of Krishna consciousness to shift one's desire, it's called purifying one's desire, to actually a platform which is not dominated by frustration. Studying this philosophy, studying Krishna's words, studying the nature of ourselves and others, which is not ultimately subjective to old age, death and disease. So that's actually very enlivening. And that should be very much desired. It's only a question of a very strong desire. Otherwise, how is it possible people change their lives so quickly? We have a practical experience that people who try to start to chant Hare Krishna, who associate with devotees, their lives are suddenly changing very quickly. Sometimes so quickly that people think, oh, the sect got him, he got brainwashed, oh no, he lost his identity. You are not normal anymore. Really, what is normal? Can you imagine? We have, unfortunately, sometimes experienced our parents or friends who just come, in a completely intoxicated state, and they go, come back, be normal. Normal to what? What is normal? Like I'm living in this body long enough to say that 60 years ago something very different was normal as today. And it's just 60 years. And I really developed a strong desire to be crazy. It's called hippie, 60s. Everything flies. Change everything. Wow! But my wildest imagination couldn't go so far that I see such a display of stupidity and craziness as today. I was a very modest hippie. I just wanted little love and little flower power and little, But then it becomes so mad. As the joke goes, a man lying on a sofa in a psychiatrist place, taking treatment, and he goes, when I was young, I desired to blow up everything. Now I am older, I am afraid it's going to happen. It's so mad. This is a suicidal, self-destructive society. Plainly materially spoken. I'm not speaking on spiritual life. This is a suicidal, self-destructive society. Those who are younger sitting here, they may even face destruction on a scale they cannot even imagine in their wildest dreams. Because when we study the law of karma, that means action and reaction, when we see a certain type of action being performed, we can already imagine what the reaction is coming. When I play lots with matches, well, probably I will sooner or later put something on fire. It's quite possible. You cannot say, where's the fire coming from? Oh, what you played with matches? So when people today commit such a heinous acts, of course there will be a reaction. So we don't wish anybody anything bad to happen, but it's going to happen. So now that's an important part when we really start to understand what is actually the meaning of life. Just to wait until it's happening, that's not the meaning. In this form, in this human form, we have the ability and we have the option to make choices. Animal cannot do that. You don't see dogs collecting on the street and discussing okay, you pass stool on this side of the street and I will pass stool on that side of the street, and we don't like the small dogs, we are the big dogs, you know, let's join the big dog party and let's make a lecture now here and all these discussions. You know, you don't see dogs doing that. They just run around and, you know, and when they pass, and when they eat, and when they sleep, they sleep. You know, dogs cannot make this, but as a humans, we can make a change. We can actually decide, am I going to act this way or that way? It's a very responsible position. But when people imitate dogs running around and looking around, just some eating and some passing and some sex, and then we miss the whole point. So actually, the real thing is to develop our consciousness. That we can do. What do I want? What do I want? You can watch what you want. Oh, this I want. I don't. This I shouldn't do that. Because what we think, what we want, we can still change by our intelligence. Intelligence is today defined as something you are good to repeat. He's a very intelligent person. He learned good in school. Say yes, yes. Very good. Say no, no. Very good. He's a very good student. You know about the variety of butterflies in a tropical forest in Amazon? You are learning. You have an IQ, you know, 5001. What's the use of this? Butterfly in a forest, and what is this to do with me? I still don't know who I am. That means IQ 0. Because I don't know who I am. That means actually I'm stupid. They say it, I don't know if they say it in Denmark, they say it in Germany. You know, IQ on the level of a pumpkin. You know, just pumpkin. Lying there, was growing, some seeds inside. Not much brain activity. It grew organically grown pumpkin. So this is what we are doing in our schools. Just repeating. Yes, yes, yes. And learn how to operate this machine. Push this button. You know, yes, yes. I'm a computer mega super expert. I know Windows 5001. Seriously, I was 3 days ago in a bank. Lady had to count the amount of coins I deposited and the amounts of paper bills I deposited, and she pulled out the calculator on this. It was 1,200 plus 860. And she was like, she works in a bank. Cannot count even these two numbers together. You know, but big computer. A big machine. I can give a whole lecture about bank, right? Because I regularly go there. A new machine. How? You don't have to count the paper bills. The machine counts for you. No, it doesn't. Because when you put the paper bills in, it goes and then you have to open the machine, take the bills out and put them straight. So they are not folded in the slightest degree. And then put the bills again. Oh, there was another bill. And you take the bills out and this happens in a bank. I suggested to the lady, why didn't you get the ironing machine? You should iron the bills first and then you put them into the machine. Maybe some scientists will go, this is the idea. We can make more money. We will make first ironing machine, then money counting machine. And after the money counting machine, make a money transporting machine. And then we transport the money. What is the money? Bunch of paper. There's nothing in it. There's no value in money. It's just paper. But we are counting and transporting back and forth. This is business. Everybody is transporting paper. You know, big paper. There's no value in this. I mean, just, you see, we ask people only one thing, and we, the Hare Krishna monks, who look for many like they came from another planet, we are asking, just please, think logically. Think!